Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you for joining F88's earnings call for the first 9 months of 2025. Joining us today, we have Ms. Tao Chen, Chief Financial Officer, and Mr. Hiu Ding, Chief Technology Officer. Ms. Tao Chen will begin by walking you through the company's overview, performance highlights for the period, and Mr. Hilding will end with an update on F88's digital transformation and AI adoption. Now, let me hand it over to Ms. Tao Chen to begin the presentation.
This period was not just a positive period of F88, it represented a disciplined strategy. Our lending balance surged to 6,413 billion VND, an aggressive 55.4% growth year-over-year, demonstrating the success of our market expansion efforts. This expansion translated directly to the top line, boosting our total revenue to an impressive 36.2% year-over-year increase, confirming that our new loans are well-performing yield generators. Revenue is increasing even as we reduce the borrowing costs for customers. Far from raising prices, our annual borrowing yields is actually trending down, from 63.9% to 59.5% per annum. By making lending more affordable for underserved customers, we've been strengthened our overall portfolio, resulting in an impressive approximately 85% on-time collection rate. Regarding cost of funds, our strategy is to reduce dependence on any single source of capital by actively pursuing lower-cost funding options such as impact funds, international banks, and public bonds, all while maintaining close relationships with current lenders and investors to ensure the availability of funds for expansion purposes. This diversification directly reduces our financial expenses, allowing us to lower borrowing costs for our customers. And by making our services more affordable, we are better able to access a larger customer portfolio and support more people. This strategy is already delivering results. From September 2024 to September 2025, we've successfully reduced our own-in cost of funds, which includes hedging fees, from 16.2% to 14.7%, reaching the lowest level recorded since 2022. The true proof of our strategy, however, lies in efficiency. We maintain rigorous control over operating expenses, keeping our cost-to-income ratio (CIR) tightly controlled at 53.3%. The cost-to-income ratio (CIR) for the first 9 months of 2025 dropped from 54.7% last year. Even better, our CIR for the third quarter alone fell below 50%, setting a positive trend toward year-end. This progress is clearly evident when looking back. In 2019, our CIR stood at a high 81.9%. This dramatic reduction highlights an initial success in expense optimization and productivity enhancement across the company. And our policy to write up loans overdue by more than 90 days, we achieved a significant improvement in credit quality this year, with the net write-up ratio calculated by taking the write-up amount deducted by recovery amount after write-up divided by the average gross lending balance, dropping to 6.5% for the first 9 months of 2025. This compares favorably to 6.9% in the prior year and marks a substantial reduction from the full-year figures in 2024 and 2023, highlighting the strength of our recovery efforts. And this powerful combination of soaring revenue and disciplined cost control funneled directly into our bottom line, driving profit before tax to 603 billion VND. This marked a 148% year-over-year increase. Profit shows a consistent quarter-over-the-quarter increase of at least 40% since the beginning of 2025. So looking at the revenue of F88, the first 9 months of 2025 solidified our position. Combined lending and insurance segment accounted for 99% of total revenue in the third quarter, with lending contributing 87% and insurance 12%. The remaining 1% is the revenue from value-added services, in which banking agent is the main source. The lending segment maintained its consistent growth momentum throughout the period. This was primarily driven by aggressive and successful loan disbursement expansion. We achieved a historic milestone in the third quarter of 2025 with our quarterly disbursement value surpassing 4 trillion VND for the first time in the company history, highlighting the scale and velocity of our customer engagement. These results are driven by effectively converting macroeconomic tailwinds into customer growth. We are capturing rising demands for consumption and small business loans fueled by GDP growth, with new products precisely tailored to customer segmentation. Accessibility is maximized through a diversified channel strategy, combining physical brand expansion with the launch of our mobile app and strategic partnerships. This market penetration is further enhanced by rigorous service quality upgrades and targeted marketing and sales team capability enhancement. Driven by robust disbursement and slightly increased loan tenors, our net loan book reached 6,413 billion VND. This represents growth of nearly 16% quarter-over-quarter and 40% since the start of the year. For our insurance segment, growth remains strong. Revenue increased 48% year-over-year and 18% quarter-over-quarter, driven by rising quarterly premiums. Our revenue capture remains high, averaging 72% of total premiums. This high growth underscores the strength of our cross-selling capabilities and our commitment to maximizing value across the customer life cycle. In summary, the 9 months of 2025 results reflect a record-breaking disbursement in lending and insurance of our company. We remain confident in closing the year with continued upward trajectory. Our growth strategy successfully pushed the total customer base past 1.3 million, and quarter 3 2025 added 69,000 new lending customers, making the accumulated number of lending customers to more than 1.2 million. Beyond acquisition, our retention efforts have significantly improved. The recurring customer portion in total lending customer has steadily improved throughout the year, climbing from 58% in quarter 1 2025 to an impressive 68% in quarter 3 2025. This upward trend confirms that our service quality is effectively driving repeat business. We analyze our customer portfolio from multi-dimensions. By occupation, our typical customer is a freelancer, 69%. By gender, 69% is male. Also, the customer base is dynamic and young, with the largest group falling between 26 and 35 years old, and with a significant 24% share from the 18 to 25 age bracket. In terms of collaterals, 93% of assets are motorbikes, remaining 7% is car title. While we aggressively expand our loan book and boost sales, our primary focus remains the health and quality of our loan portfolio. Our provisioning policy is stricter than banking standards. We write off 100% of any loan overdue by more than 90 days. To be extra safe, we also ignore the value of any collaterals, car, motorbike, etc., when we calculate our required provision. This conservative stance provides the highest possible level of risk coverage for our loan book. Our lending practices and write-up metrics are consistently contained well within our defined risk appetite. A key indicator of this discipline is our unscheduled payment ratio, which has been remarkably stable at approximately 85% for 4 consecutive quarters, settling at 84.9% in quarter 3 2025. Since early 2025, we have heightened our focus on early overdue debts, strategically increasing efforts and resources to collect this amount before they require a write-off. This proactive approach successfully reduces our write-off ratio and reinforces the strength of our loan book, as early collection is always more effective. The roll forward rate B0 and B1, a leading indicator of future delinquency, was settled at 3% in quarter 3 2025. While this metric saw a temporary increase in September due to the significant impact of typhoons in North and Central Vietnam, it remains under our comfortable control cap. To support customers in the impacted region, we implemented several solutions, including waiving late payment penalties and forgiving up to 15 million VND in interest or principal for affected areas. The write-off ratio has shown an encouraging downward trend across the quarters. Gross write-off ratio, calculated by dividing the write-off amount in the quarter by averaging lending balance, has also decreased sharply, moving from 4.2% in the first quarter of 2025 to 3.5% in the third quarter of 2025. Net write-off ratio also fell consistently throughout the year, dropping to 2.6% in the first quarter of 2025 to 2.4% in the third quarter of 2025. Furthermore, our net write-off by disbursement ratio, which shows the write-off relative to disbursement, has demonstrated significant stability and control. The ratio for the first 9 months of 2025 is 1.9% per month, and we need to wait until next year to have a complete picture of the net write-off by 2025 disbursement ratios. However, this ratio shows an improvement over the same period of previous years. Regarding funding, F88 has built a stable funding and liquidity position that provides substantial buffers for future growth and resilience against market shocks. A key strategic achievement since 2021 has been the significant diversification of our funding base, which enables the company to remain resilient and unaffected by capital market fluctuation or temporary disruptions in any single funding channel. For instance, in 2023, when the domestic bond market experienced disruptions, our offshore lines effectively offset the temporary onshore funding constraints. Offshore funding now makes up about 50% of our total new funding mix annually, a major shift from our previous reliance on purely onshore sources. Accessing international capital has allowed us to increase our average funding tenure up to 36 months from offshore sources, while keeping our blended cost of funds competitive. Our strategic focus has allowed us to reduce the cost of funds of new drawdown amounts in the first 9 months of 2025 compared to previous years. Our current funding costs are highly competitive. Onshore funding, mainly bonds, is at 11.7% all-in cost, while offshore fund is at 12.9% before hedging fees. With 562 billion VND in bond issue and 555 billion VND drawn down from debt fund in the first 9 months and significant remaining limits available, we demonstrate sustainability and a high liquidity position. Operationally, the company demonstrates a firm financial discipline. We maintain conservative leverage with a debt-to-equity ratio consistently at 1.9 times in the most recent periods, well below the median for non-banking financial institutions. Furthermore, the company's liquidity chain remains good, with both 30 days and 90-day liquidity ratios consistently maintained about 100%. And in addition, we maintain a liquidity reserve buffer equivalent to 2% of total assets, ensuring resilience against unexpected shocks, while regular stress tests are conducted to assess and strengthen the company's liquidity position. And the demonstrated improvement in both funding structure and liquidity metrics has recently been recognized by Fitch Ratings, which upgraded the company credit rating to BBB from BBB-. And this improved rating solidifies our reputation and enhances our access to future capital, positioning us strongly to capture upcoming market opportunities. And F88 is projecting a year of faster growth and profitability in 2025, with internal forecasts indicating the company is well on track to surpass key performance targets set at the annual general meeting (AGM). The strategy is geared toward aggressive yet sustainable expansions. The most substantial growth is expected in the loan book, which is projected to reach 7,310 billion VND in 2025. This represent a remarkable 110% achievement against the initial AGM targets, highlighting a strategic boost in asset expansions. Supporting this, revenue is forecast to reach 4,048 billion VND, translating to a 112% achievement in the AGM target. Critically, this growth is expected to be of high performance efficiency. Profit before tax is projected at 853.1 billion Vietnam dong, exceeding the AGM target by 27%. While the net write-off is expected to increase to 10.4% as a consequence of impact of typhoons and storms in Q3 as well as the quite rapid expansion. This ratio is still under comfortable cap. Also, we forecast a substantial return on equity of 31.2% in 2025. Given the current capitalization of F88 in Upcom, if we use the forecasted financial indicators for the whole year 2025, the projected price to earnings ratio is 12.9 times, and the price to earning to growth ratio is just 0.14 times. Our aim is to become a one-stop financial service provider for the underbanked population in Vietnam. And to achieve this, the business model is evolving into a comprehensive ecosystem built around some core pillars supported by an expansive multi-channel distribution network and advanced technology, together with enhanced risk management practice and capital adequacy. Lending is the core business of F88. We will focus on essential credit solutions, including asset-backed lendings, revolving credit lines, installment, consumer loans, and cards, in which the latter two products, including cards and installment, are under R&D by the product team. Insurance distribution will also a focus in the next 5 years. We are distributing life and non-life insurance products to customers alongside with robust claim assessment in order to support customers with faster and more convenient claim process. We are also in the process of integrating InsurTech solution with the expectation to act as a connection between insurance companies and customers in lower mass market who hardly afford the valuable insurance products in the market. Regarding value-added services, we expect to enhance customer stickiness by offering practical services such as bill payment and overseas remittance. Since early 2025, we have acted as the banking agent of military bank, and we assess this is the major expansion vector. And this position branches as multifunctional hubs, and we expect to introduce crucial financial tools in collaboration with licensed financial firms like investment and savings products to customers in the years to come. And this model is underpinned by a massive distribution expansion aimed at reaching 2,000 branches and 10,000 touchpoints by partnership by 2030. This physical reach is paired with the digital strength derived from lending technology, data, and AI capabilities, ensuring personalized service and superior efficiency. The entire operation is secured by a commitment to robust risk management and capital adequacy, guaranteeing sustainability and trust at the company scales. The overall strategy is designed to transition the company from a specialized lending provider to a diversified financial service provider, and it can help solve multiple needs for traditional underserved customer base. And in the next section, we would like to give you some updates on our automation process, and I would like to hand over to Mr. Hiếu, the Chief Technology Officer of F88.
Okay, thank you, Ms. Thảo. So let me share a couple of highlights in this quarter. The first thing I want to share with you is about F88 digital transformation journey. So historically, F88 is operated under a branch-based model. Most of our customer interaction, from the loan origination, repayment, and settlement took place in the physical branch. Each branch was staffed with around 4 to 5 employees, and roughly around 80% of their work focus on the manual operational tasks. Starting from the 2025, we began to transform toward a seamless offline to online experience through our My F88 mobile app. The key idea here is pretty simple. Customer only need to visit our branch once for KYC. From the second loan onward, through their whole loan journey, they can interact with our system or digitally through our My F88 mobile app. Beyond the loan, My F88 is also provide a wide range of value-added service, for example, bill payment, insurance, micro-insurance, investment product, all of them accessible via a single platform. With this shift, each branch can operate more efficiently, reduce the staff size, so now each branch have around 2 to 3 staff. And they are focused more on the customer care rather than the paperwork. This impact is quite significant. The number of borrowers through the online channel increased tenfold from around 5.6 thousand in the first quarter 2025, and in quarter 3 2025 we have around 56,000. The digital lending now is contribute around 16% of our total digital disbursement value, and 350,000 customers have already downloaded our My F88 app, with the overall outstanding rating is 4.8 star in both iOS and Android together. We also proud that My F88 was recognized as the mobile app of the year by the Asian Banking and Finance FinTech Award, highlight our leadership in this digital innovation. This achievement marks just the first step in F88 broader digital transformation journey, building the foundation for an integrated digital financial ecosystem that connected data, product, and customer experience seamlessly across online and offline channels. Okay, the second highlight I want to share with you today is not only F88 focus on the customer experience, but we also focus on managing operational nationwide through the launching of my F88 Command Center. This is the centralized AI-based surveillance operation hub, connecting live data from nearly 900 stores across the country. It brings together the AI-driven image monitoring, GPS tracking, and real-time analysis to optimize the branch performance and strengthen the risk and control of the branch. Previously, the branch supervision relied heavily on the manual report, periodic audit, or via the secret customer program, which means limited visibility and coverage. Today, with the Command Center, we have the real-time oversight of every branch, every hours of the day. We achieve 100% coverage with all stores equipped with the AI cameras linked to our AI-based surveillance Command Center, with over 90% accuracy in the branch traffic monitoring, providing the real-time insight to the customer flows during the peak hour and the service efficiency. Beyond just monitoring, the Command Center acts as a control tower for efficient. First is centralized operation visibility and the real-time branch KPI across 900 branches. Second, it is providing the 24/7 branch security monitoring based on the AI monitoring. Third, the vehicle GPS tracking. Each vehicle, the car loan, is installed with the GPS chip. The device installed on the customer vehicle enable an early warning detection via the geofence alert, signal loss notification, and other abnormal signal that help F88 to detect the abnormal early before they escalate or before the loan go to the bad debt. The AI recognition that identifies the repeated customer as a branch also providing 90% of the accuracy, which enable us to personalize the service with a faster turnaround time. This platform allows us to detect the issue at branch early, from the process bottleneck to the service abnormality, and respond immediately to any abnormal. The impact is tangible. It is providing a better productivity, a faster decision making, and improve the customer service satisfaction. So strategically, the command center forms a core part of our digital transformation roadmap operation from the operation side. It integrates all our physical branch network with our digital ecosystem, providing a management of a single data-driven view of the nationwide branches. So those are the two important highlights that I want to share with you in this quarter. So I hand over it back to Ms. Tha.
Thank you to our speakers for those insightful sharing sessions. We will now take a 10 minutes break before we return for the Q&A session. During this time, please feel free to submit your questions via the Zoom Q&A box. We'll be selecting a few to address live after the break. We'll see you back here in 10 minutes. fund in the first 9 months of 2025? And this question will be for Ms. Thao, our CFO.
Thanks for the questions. So in the first 9 months of 2025, we witnessed an upbeat loan demand, and the lending balance of this quarter rose by 55% year-on-year in comparison with the same period last year, and the disbursement grew by 80% year-on-year growth. So, as I have mentioned in the presentation, here's a brief recap of the key drivers for the growth in our disbursement. The primary factors in the favorable macro environment, highlighted by retail sales growth of 10% year-over-year in the first 9 months of 2025. And this strong performance drives the consumer financing industry's expansion, and F88 being a key player is well positioned to secure strong growth. And subjectively, F88 has seen significant improvements across the board. These include rolling out tailored loan products for a customer segment, such as our new revolving credit line. We also dramatically enhance service quality, evidenced by an increase in our NPS to 75%, up from 69% at the end of 2024. Furthermore, we focus on expanding distribution channels, improving market activities, and upgrading the KPI and incentive scheme for our sales staff. We have also actively trained our staff to enhance their sales capability. And as a result, we have successfully attracted over 185,000 new customers during the first 9 months of 2025, and recurring customers accounted for 68% of total customers in Q3 from 57% at the beginning of the year. So I hope that my answer has addressed what you addressed the concern. So let's move to the second question.
Can you discuss more about my F88 app? What has been the adoption rate so far? Mr. Hill, please.
Okay, so thank you for your question. So my F88 is launched in 2025. It proven itself is the crucial piece of my F88 multi-channel distribution and the transformation of the customer journey from the pure physical branch to the seamless physical O2O experience. What is a physical? It is a physical and digital offline to online experience. It also leverages the F88, the physical presence of nearly 900 physical stores worldwide, nationwide, in order to support the hybrid service delivery. It's also, we saw a big surge with the launching of the revolving credit line product, a similar product as a bank credit card. However, the customer uses pretty intensively. So we saw a customer can draw multiple times as they need it, whenever they need it, and they are charged the interest only for the amount they withdraw. It is tailoring for the unbanked customer who need an urgent money for an urgent case. So within 9 months of the launching, my F88 now have 350,000 downloads. We execute 280,000 contract signing and disburse around 777 billion Vietnam dong. It's, as we shared with you before, it takes around nearly 20% of our loan book. The app is also won the Asian Banking and Finance FinTech award for the best mobile app of the year, only after 6 months it launched. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Hill. The next question is from Ms. Thao Chen. Understand that F88 is very active in accessing international funding. What has been the impact of the recent USD VND hikes on your cost of funds, and what is your funding strategy to optimize both diversity and affordability? Ms. Thao, please.
Thanks for the questions. So as we mentioned in the presentation, our strategy is to diversify our funding sources and at the same time making efforts to lower the cost of fund. And international funding is a major source to implement our diversification strategy. We received our first international credit limit in 2021. And international funding not only offers long-term stable funding, but also a testament to our creditworthiness and reputation in the capital market. So for all our offshore loans, we apply hedging contract, which have minimized sensitivities to fluctuation in the USD VND rate. You are right that the recent exchange rate movement has increased our hedging fee. However, it's alleviated by the hedging that we did. Another positive signal is that for newer offshore deals, our cost of funds have significantly reduced, largely thanks to our proven repayment capabilities and robustness of our business model. And going forward, we plan to continue expanding our funding sources. For example, international bank funding, collaboration with bank for loan disbursement, publicly offered bonds, and at the same time strengthening our relationship with current funding partners. Also, we will continue to enhance our credit rating to have more accessibility to lower cost funding shorts. And as mentioned in the presentation, Fin Ratings Vietnam prestigious rating agency has just upgraded F88 credit ratings to BBB from BBB minus with a stable outlook thanks to strong improvement in F88 liquidity and funding positions.
Thank you, Ms. Tao. The next question is also for you, and it is about asset quality. Can you discuss more on the NPL formation trend and drivers in the first 9 months of 2025 and the company's comfortable level of write-off ratio? Ms. Tao, please.
Okay, we have mentioned this in our slide deck, page number 15, and I remember, our risk ratio are well managed within our risk appetite. And the current loan balance continuously improved throughout the years to cover 91% of the whole portfolio by the first 9 months of 2025. Our loan rate from B0 to B1 improved significantly to 3% in the third quarter of 2025 compared to 3.65% in the third quarter of 2024. And the management and the board of directors of F88 have kept the company risk ratio after studying the market and considering key factors like profit margin and credit growth room. And to share with you for the year 2025, our specific targets to net write-offs are set by the board to be less than 5% of disbursement and 11% of the lending balance. And this balance between the risk appetite and the profitability. So we expect that our questions have properly answer our questions.
Thank you, Ms. Tao. The next question is for our CTO, Mr. Hill. It is about how F88 uses technology for our asset management. It is mentioned that F88 uses GPS technology to track collateral. So, Mr. Hill, could you please elaborate on how this system works and how it benefits F88 compared to operations without GPS tracking? Mr. Hill, please.
So thank you for your question. So it's an interesting one. F88 is currently using the GPS to track the car collateral of the customer. Actually, the GPS is a chip is tied into the power source from the car. So how it works, GPS is continuously send the location to our command center in our headquarters. We built an early warning system based on our know-how in the industry for the last 10 years. So the GPS signal sent to our command center, and if it have anything abnormal, they will be alert, and we will send the staff to call customer to keep contact with the customer to see is there anything wrong with them. So it is it is a crucial part of the early warning system. So what is the abnormal signal? The abnormal can be anything. For example, if the abnormal can be the customer drives the car, go outside of their home or their area for more than 100 kilometers. We put a zero fence over there. So based on that zero fence, we know that, okay, there's something wrong with this customer. They're driving so far. Maybe they go for tourists, but we keep contact them to make sure that they are contactable, and it's an early warning for us. Or if the car is drive into the basement for a very long time and doesn't go up, the signal is lost. So the signal, the lost signal will also alert us, so we know that, okay, something wrong with this customer, and the early warning system shall pick up the event and then notify the corresponding staff so that they can start contacting the customer. Those kind of things provide us a real-time behavior of the customer, and we also tracking. We also help us a lot into reducing the fraud rate and also the overdue loan. So that's how we are using the GPS technology in F88. I hope I answered your question.
Thank you, Mr. Hill. The next question is a topic that is of interest of several investors, and I hope that Ms. Tao, your answer can satisfy them. Can F88 please share the outlook for the next 12 months, broken down by segments and growth strategy in the next few years? Ms. Tao, please.
Yeah, thank you for the questions. And with an upbeat result in the first 9 months of 2025, F88 management is confident that we will exceed all AGM performance targets this year. And over the next 12 months, we are determined to expand our distribution channels, and we target at 1,000 branches by the end of the year 2026. Together, we will develop new products while optimizing operation through digital transformation and AI. And this focus will drive loan book growth, averaging 30% annually. And revenue is also expected to grow at a slightly lower 20% because we are lowering customer borrowing costs by improving our cost of funds. Our long-term goal is to transform F88 into a one-stop financial service provider for the underbanked in Vietnam, offering investment, savings, and remittance services beyond traditional lending and insurance. And I hope that our brief answer has addressed the question.
Thank you, Ms. Tao. Moving on to the next question, also very timely one. Can management please discuss the impact of recent typhoons and prolonged floodings on F88, in particular on factors including loan demand, value of cars and motorbikes pledged at F88? Ms. Tao, please.
It's a very timely question, and to be honest with you, our management team is now also focusing on this topic. And indeed, with our widespread branch coverage across all provinces, with the impact of typhoons in the north and central Vietnam, there has been some disruption to our operations during and after the two typhoons, Pua Loi and Matmore. The effect was limited to 70 out of 896 branches, and those 70 branches have temporarily suspended operation on a rotation basis for a few days from 29th of September to the 3rd of October, and from the 6th of October to the 15th of October. The impact on new disbursement and loan collection in the 7 most heavily affected provinces were said to be mild, and we are glad that our staff at the impacted areas has been safe. And as of the 19th of October, disbursements in affected areas decreased by 4.9% month on month, and it impacts our insurance business at the same level. Some risk ratio, especially the early overdue debt ratio, such as the on-time collection rate and the roll forward from B0 to B1, that means from current loan to the overdue loans, slightly increased. On-time collection rate went down by 1.2% compared to September 2025, However, the ratios are still under control, and we are currently taking some solution to support impacted customers. For example, we have mentioned in our presentation that we have taken action to support our customer as much as possible. For example, we have implemented the program to reduce the interest and the principal for affected customer by 15 million VND, and also we have waived the penalty fees for the customer in the impacted areas. And immediately upon receiving the disaster warnings from the Meteorological Authority, F88 activated its business continuity plan for natural disaster response. All branches in affected areas implemented the prescribed contingency measures and provided regular updates to the emergency response team, helping minimize losses and restore operations as quickly as possible. And we have also taken some specific action, such as reassigning employees to work from home or from nearby branch during the impacted period. And head office units such as customer service or collections or asset management and the operation centers coordinated closely to redirect customer traffic, remind customer payment schedules, and process loan requests through online channels. And the daily operational updates were maintained to ensure the seamless communication between the business and the head office team, enabling tight control over business results and credit risk during the disruption period. And after weather conditions stabilized, branches that suffer infrastructure or equipment damage were promptly restored, with necessary resources mobilized within 3 days to resume full operations. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Thao. Thank you, Ms. Thao. I hope that our management answer has highlighted F88's efforts in not only restoring normal business operation, but also our strong commitment to corporate responsibilities as a corporation in Vietnam. Moving on to the next question from our CTO, Mr. Hiếu Dinh. Mr. Hiếu, can you please update on F88's InsurTech strategy, please?
Okay. So for the InsurTech strategy, our focus is to make insurance hub as an InsurTech insurance hub, so that we provide the insurance product simple, accessible, and customized for the commoner, for our customer who is the underbanked, and they are also new to the financial product, especially with the insurance. So for the InsurTech strategy, currently we are in the development phase. So we are collaborating with the multiple insurance, as well as we build up our platform as an insurance hub in the right model, so that it can personalize the offer to each and individual customer. This includes the embedded insurance into the lending journey, also the micro insurance as a standalone product, or it can be go to the My F88 app. The insurance journey we are talking about not only from the sale part, but also from the service part, where F88 will be the single hub, single contact point for the claim, for the claim and the service of the insurance product. So that is how our InsurTech strategy works, and our target is to make it right, to make it efficiencies in this market where there's a lot of insurance company, but they do not have the advantage of the nationwide branch as F88. So I hope I answer your question related to the InsurTech strategy.
Thank you. Thank you, Ms. Hiếu. Thank you, Mr. Hiếu. For our next question, please update investors on F88's IPO and wholesale listing plan and any plans for stock or cash dividend in October. This question will be for Ms. Thao.
we will update the investor as soon as we can. Regarding the dividend plan is a decision to be proposed by the board of directors to the annual general meeting of shareholders. Therefore, I shall not be able to comment on it for now. We will definitely update shareholders and the investment community on any progress in due course.
Your detailed answer. We'll now move on to the questions that have been submitted by investor via the Zoom chat. First question is, what is stopping HD Saison from competing with F88 in your segment and vice versa? The second question is, what is the current average LTV loan-to-value ratio for your two-wheelers loan? And the third question is, how does F88 repossess two-wheeler collateral in case of default or delinquency? And please, Ms. Thao, to provide your answer on the three questions.
Regarding the first question, so can I read out the first question and then we will discuss this question together. So what's stopping HD Saison from competing with F88 in those segment and vice versa? We, in the presentation slide, we mentioned that we are now operating in alternative lending market. And the alternative lending market is different from the traditional lending market, including the banks and the consumer finance company licensed by the State Bank of Vietnam. The main difference is that we are serving the underserved customer who have very limited access to the credit lines granted by the banks or the consumer finance companies. So we do not aim to compete with HD Saison or other consumer finance companies or the banks in Vietnam. Instead of that, we would like to collaborate with the banks and the consumer finance companies to serve as many customers as possible. So we are now collaborating with Military Bank, with CIMB, and we're also collaborating with the consumer finance companies so that the customers that those companies cannot serve because of their risk appetite will be transferred to F88. So the relationship between F88 and HD Saison or other consumer finance company or the banks are the collaboration relationship rather than competition relationship. So I hope that my explanation have addressed the questions. The second question is, what is the current average LTV for the two-wheels loans? So our average LTV for both two wheels and four wheels is now 55%. So for example, if the value of the asset is 100 million VND, then the average loans balance is 55 million VND. And the LTV for two-wheel loans is a little bit higher than that for the four-wheel loans because of the fact that the value of the two-wheel loans is lower than that of the four-wheel loans. And we also appraising and assessing the value of the collaterals on a very prudent basis. So that explains why the LTV, after assessing the customer credit history, if the customer is assessed as good customer, that means they are classified in group A or B in our credit scoring system, the customers are entitled to higher LTV loans. But for the new customer, the LTV is quite limited to a lower level. So that is the answer to the second question. The third question is how F88 repossesses two-wheel collateral in case of default or delinquency. So to share with you now, 99% of the loans, even before or after writing off, is collected in form of the cash or bank transfer rather than in form of repossession of the collaterals. The reason for that is the customer will be given advice by the management team, by the asset management team. So if the customer let the company repossess the collaterals, then the customer can lose the remaining value of the asset after deducted the loan value. because the LTV is still quite reasonable, quite low in comparison to the value of the whole collaterals. So that's the reason why the portion of the cash and bank transfer collection is dominating the loan portfolio of F88. And in case the customer refuses to pay F88 back in cash or by bank transfer, F88 will conduct some litigation procedures to repossess the collaterals. That means the case will be transferred to the court. And if the court decides that the collateral belongs to F88, then we will repossess the collaterals. And after repossessing the collateral, F88 will sell the collateral to the market at the most favorable price. Yeah, so that is the answer to the 3 questions that you asked.
Thank you, Ms. Tao. We'll now move on to a few questions that we have received beforehand. Ms. Tao, please, for the next question, why is F88's gross yield and NIM on a downward trend for recent quarters, and what can we expect for the next 12 to 18 months? Ms. Tao, please.
Yeah, so while we swiftly expand our loan book, our strategy is to provide products with attractive lending rates to support our customer and maintain competitive advantage. We also expect that we can reach the larger potential customer base with more attractive lending rates. So in recent quarters, in particular, we have been offering favorable loan packages for our customer, resulting in the lower asset yields. NIM, the NIM one, however, came down more slowly as we have also been optimizing our cost of fund by diversifying our funding sources. Also, our robust financial performance and brand name also have increased our credit worthiness. Notably, our credit rating by Fin Rating has been upgraded to BBB, as I mentioned earlier. And this can help with our cost of fund going forward. So I hope that my answer is has addressed the questions.
Thank you, Ms. Tao. For our final question of today's session, with the current easing cycle, do you expect expected rising inflation rate to hurt your target customer base repayment capacity? And how can F88 insulate against this?
Is it right that the rising inflation during an easing cycle may negatively impact F88 targeted customer repayment capacity? However, our business model, which is collateral-based lending, provides an inherent layer of insulation. If a customer repayment capacity fails due to inflation, the loss for F88 is capped by the collateral value, which is typically appraised to be higher than the loan amount, because we have quite low loan-to-value ratio. Also, the borrower has a strong incentive to repay to avoid forfeiting their essential assets. For example, a motorbike used for work, which provide a powerful deterrent against strategic default. To insulate against the possible deterioration in the loan portfolio, we also take some action, such as to utilize data analytics and technology to improve credit scoring models. And this model is dynamically adjusted to reflect current economic condition, factoring in inflationary pressure on the borrower's debt service capacity. Also, as the nature of bond loans is often short-term, F88 can adjust appraisal model as well as LTV pricing more frequently than long-term lenders, and we can react faster to changes in micro risks. Besides, due to the high flexibility of our products, we can offer structured repayment plans to help financially trained customers avoid default. And this might involve temporary restructuring or extending the loan term for customers demonstrating genuine hardship. In short, we try maintaining an appropriate risk-adjusted return even when our target customer face inflationary pressure on their disposable income.
Thank you to Ms. Tao and Ms. Hill for your very detailed explanation for the Q&A session. And that concludes our earnings call for the first 9 months of 2025 for today. On behalf of F88, we would like to thank all of our investors, analysts, and guests for taking the time to join us today. We appreciate your continued support and interest in our company. Should you have further questions, please feel free to reach out to our investor relations team at ir.info@f88.vn. Thank you once again, and we look forward to seeing you at our next earnings call.
Ok.
Ok rồi. Off hết rồi. Có rời ánh sang xem nó record ở đâu. Tắt hết luôn.